Hello everybody and welcome back to Against the Fence. Now UFC 265 has literally just wrapped up and we're joined by Sel yet again to hear his thoughts on this evening's main card. Now Sel, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Oh, terrific, mate. I mean, it's struggling over here at 25 minutes past 6 over here in the UK. But yeah, we're feeling too good. We're feeling good. I think that main card was pretty solid and kept us awake throughout. I don't know about you.
I was kind of feeling asleep near the end, but the main event, it kept me alive, so it was all good.
Oh, good man, good man. I'm glad to hear it. So let's start off then with the main card, the first fight in the main card. We had Song Yadong versus Casey Kenny. Now, what did you make of that fight? Who did you have going into it? I certainly had Casey Kenny winning the decision, but nonetheless, Song Yadong shocked us all. I think a lot of people would have gone for Song Yadong knockout. But what did you make of that fight?
I actually went for Song Yadong to actually get the finish or to get the decision win, because. Mainly because I thought Song Yadong has improved in his takedown defense. And I felt as if Casey Kenny wasn't going to get his takedown. So that's exactly what happened. Casey Kenny is tough. So I kind of thought the input from Song Yadong is gonna outwork Casey Kenny, and that's what happened.
Yeah, no, it's quite surprising. Yeah, no. I think a lot of us would have gone for Song Yadong knockout. He's got so much power, man, and it's insane. But you know, Casey Kenny nonetheless hasn't been stopped yet in his professional career. Entertainment fight nonetheless, very close. I was kind of struggling to keep up with it a little bit because there was a lot of chats going on in that fight during our watch along. But maybe a fight of the night candidate nonetheless. But then okay, that's some good thoughts on that. So the next fight on the card, we obviously had Tecia Torres taking on Angela Hill. Now that fight was quite close enough that it is. I think all three of us across the board went for Tecia Torres. Who did you have in that fight?
You mean before the fight started?
Yeah, before the fight started.
Angela Hill. I thought
you went for Hill.
Yeah, I went for Hill, to be honest. I actually went for Hill. I thought that she was gonna outwork Tecia Torres. I thought Tecia Torres was going to go for the takedowns again. And knowing that Angela Hill has improved his takedown defense, I thought that she was going to stop them and basically outstrike her, but that didn't happen. She outstruck Angela Hill. Even on the ground, like nothing happened on the ground. So I was kind of unimpressed with Angela Hill, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I underestimated Angela Hill in this fight. I really did. I thought Tecia Torres was going to execute the takedowns, but she didn't, you know. And Angela Hill even got one of her own. Definitely showing improvements into her game. And yeah, I think one of the guys even mentioned it. We could potentially see Angela Hill outstrike Tecia Torres throughout the fight. And I thought that was looking possible. You know, I was quite shocked by the decision because I actually thought Angela Hill might have robbed it.
I thought maybe Angela Hill won the second round, but the third round, I felt as if Tecia Torres outworked her. Yeah. So she kind of sneaked in the decision retreat, but it wasn't a good fight, to be honest. It wasn't an average fight.
Yeah, no. Who do you make of then? What's next for both of these girls? Then, in your opinion, have you had time to think about it?
I think Tecia Torres. I'd like to see her against Yan Xiaonan.
Oh, yes. That's possible.
Or Claudia Gadelha. That could also be a good fight.
Yeah, I think we actually mentioned as well Claudia Gadelha would be a good option for her anyway. Yeah, I'm sitting pretty confident in that sort of pick. And as for Angela Hill, it's a little bit tough, really. She's been in some wars in the UFC already. But I'm sure she'll get matched up pretty quick. There were some options floating around. I can't remember who I'll pick now for that one.
Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas. Yeah, if she wins, they can fight probably.
Yeah,
fight again.
I don't think Reba has Ribas been booked? I'm not sure, but nonetheless, yeah, that's a good fight. That's the typical sort of striker versus grappler kind of fight, which would be entertaining. And yeah, no, that's a solid idea. Let's then move on to the third fight. Then we had Vicente Luque picking up that submission win against Michael Chiesa, and a lot of people, I think, were expecting Michael Chiesa to outwork Luque and grind out a decision, but no, Luque shocked us all tonight, and I think I picked Luque second round knockout. So did Ash. What did you make of that fight then, and what was your pick going into this?
My pick was Chiesa.
I thought,
I went for him. I thought he was gonna be too big for Luque in the ground, and it looked as if that was gonna happen because he looked massive when he took him on the ground. He looked massive, but then I felt as if he rushed the submission. If he didn't, he was gonna get the W, but then he rushed it. Luque stayed calm, and then he got the W. But I had Chiesa, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah, I think it was possible. I mean, the start of the week, I kind of thought to myself, it should be obvious, right? Chiesa's going to outwork Luque and just kind of wrestle with him the whole fight and get the W, get that decision win. But then as I started to looking into the fight, and, especially with that Woodley fight for Luque is actually a really tough individual. Like, he's a very strong individual. And I just sort of started to think to myself, maybe he can just shove off the takedowns from Chiesa. But nonetheless, Chiesa got a very well-timed takedown in on Luque. Timed to perfection, made quick work of taking the back. And we kind of said that before. He does that really well. Very unlucky, I thought, to not get the rear naked choke. Luque done an excellent job at fighting it off. Really pushing the elbows and fighting the hands of Chiesa. But I think it was quite surprising that as they were getting to their feet, that again, Luque wrapping that barbo choke up on Chiesa and getting the W.
That was a surprising way for him to win. For him to win, I thought he was going to get the knockout, to be honest. I thought that was his only way to win because I didn't think he would submit a guy like Chiesa.
No.
Who's really, really good on the ground. So that really, really impressed me, to be honest.
Yeah, at the same time, we had seen Chiesa get tapped out before, So Kevin Lee not tap him out rear naked choke as well. So
I think it was also Anthony Pettis, didn't he also submit him?
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, I asked the guys a question that surprisingly, Michael Chiesa's first loss, I think as a professional, was by Darce choke. And I sort of said, can you guess who that was? Do you know who that is?
Who that was?
Yeah.
Who was it? I don't know. I have no idea.
Actually, Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal tapped out Chiesa.
Are you serious?
Yeah, by Darce choke. I know. I looked it up. I saw it on Wikipedia the other day and was like, of course, that's crazy. It's so long ago. And you wouldn't have thought it.
Exactly. Especially for Miyagi.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I take it you enjoyed that fight then. It was quite surprised for you.
It was a good fight.
Would you like to see Luque fight Usman?
I mean, that would be a good fight, but I actually have a good scenario here. I feel as if maybe Luque should fight Leon Edwards.
Okay, that's interesting.
For the title eliminator, and then the winner of that fight can fight Kamaru Usman if he wins against Colby.
That's a really good thought.
And then Chiesa fights Gilbert Burns, maybe.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. I mean, but then for Chiesa, fighting Burns, I think would be a tough one to go for, especially after this loss. Very good point. It's highly possible. I think we said that we'd like to see the Vicente Luque take on the loser of Usman versus Covington, assuming that Leon Edwards is going to fight Burns. Because Burns is doing everything he can to get a fight now. He's desperate to get that rematch against Usman. And, he needs to take out a guy like Leon Edwards who's, ranked at number 3, but then also riding this massive win streak. So, yeah, it's an interesting sort of side to it that you've given us here. It's very possible. who knows what could happen? It depends, doesn't it?
Depends with Dana, to be honest. Really
Yeah.
depends on Dana. We never know. But I hope that's the right matchup to make, I feel, because Gilbert Burns lost to the champ. So they need to give these guys opportunity again. Leon Edwards and Luke. That's just what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're queuing up now for Kamaru Usman. You know, he's got some, and Usman, they're queuing up purely because Usman's been taking rematches. You know, but nonetheless,
Exactly.
I'm excited for the Covington fight. I think second time round is going to be really good. What are you expecting from that fight?
I'm expecting it's gonna be a close fight. To be honest, it's gonna be a close fight. But I haven't seen much from Colby, to be honest, to think that he's gonna challenge him that much because Kamaru has improved. And Colby hasn't fought since last year against Tyron Woodley. But it's still gonna be a close fight, but I do expect Kamaru Usman to get a finish again.
Yeah, so do I really, and I'm expecting Kamaru Usman to make quicker work of Colby second time round. But yeah, that's an interesting take of yours. Then let's move on to the co-main event. Then it replaced the Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena fight. That was Jose Aldo defeating Pedro Munoz via decision, with most judges scoring it 30-27. What did you make of that fight, and how did you think Aldo looked?
Aldo looked awesome. To be honest, he looked awesome. I was impressed by him. I actually thought he was gonna get outworked by Pedro Munoz. That was my pick from the beginning. I thought Pedro Munoz was gonna outwork him, but I was wrong, man, because Aldo showed a different side of him tonight. Because in his previous fights also, he's been outworked by guys like Peter Yan. He was outworked by who's this guy? The guy who beats Sean O'Malley.
Marlon Vera. He beat Marlon Vera though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the second round, Marlon Vera looked good against him.
Yeah, he did.
He only got the takedowns because Marlon Vera was outworking him basically. So I thought that was going to happen again, but he proved me wrong today. He really, really did.
Yeah, no, it was an excellent display from Aldo. I was expecting Pedro to kind of outwork him as well. At one point in the week, I was thinking that. But then when you just dig deep into it, Aldo does a lot of things really, really well. He's good at mixing things up, you know, the body shots and then coming into the head. He's good, very good at sort of isolating the legs. Didn't see too much of it in this fight, but you know, he threw a couple of leg kicks back at Munoz and really done damage with him. It's just the barrage of combinations that he's able to pull together, and yeah, scored the points, got the decision. I think you do really need to stop Aldo. Really.
Sorry?
I think you do really need to stop Aldo to kind of beat him when he's in this position.
Yeah, and he's also quick. I feel as if he's quicker now than he was in the featherweight division.
Well, yeah, I mean, would kind of make sense because of the weight cut and everything. And like I was saying in the stream, I think Aldo pretty much stays in shape the whole time now. I don't think he has, you know, time off necessarily. He's constantly working, and you know, he looks strong, looks shredded at the division. We got some exciting fights for him lined up. Have you got anyone in mind that you'd like to see Aldo fight next?
Rob Font.
Yeah.
That would be fights, Rob Font. Or someone like Corey Sanhagen.
Yeah, we said those two as well.
Yeah, that would be also a good fight. Those are my two picks, to be honest, for him.
So how do you think Aldo fares against both of those guys then?
Tough fights, but I feel as if they would kill him with the jab, to be honest, because they're kind of longer than him. So I feel as if it would be a tough fight for him, but he would need to mix it up to get the W.
Rob like a very, very, very good fight for Jose Aldo, especially this Jose Aldo that we've seen that uses a lot of boxing, uses a lot of body shots and things like that, and sets up his combinations well. And I think Rob Font almost mirrors that to some extent as well. Yeah, I'd expect a very close fight for that. I'd want to see it as like a headliner, a fight night headliner. I think you got to.
Exactly.
5
rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as for Corey Sandhagen, I think he's just not gonna give a flying F who it is, legend or no legend. He's gonna try and go for that W. Um, yeah, I think Corey Sandhagen has a better chance of beating Aldo than Rob Font, I'm afraid.
You
That's
think
what I
Rob
feel.
Font doesn't have that killer instinct?
No, that's it. I know. And whereas Corey's unpredictable, man. He could pull out anything from anywhere. He could even tap Aldo if he wanted to. Well, I know
Yeah,
Aldo's a
he's a
very
killer.
strong jiu-jitsu player, but Corey Sandhagen's very tall and very long for this division, and he's very awkward.
Yeah, he's a killer. He's a
So
killer also.
yeah, man, and he's gonna be looking to bounce back from that TJ loss, absolutely. So big fights for him. But let's move on to then the main event itself. Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane, and we had Cyril Gane picking up the third round TKO against Derek Lewis. Bit surprising. What did you make of that fight? Did it go the way you thought it would?
Yeah.
Really?
I actually picked Cyril Gane to dominate this fight because I felt as if he was too quick for Derek Lewis. And also I've seen most fights of Derek Lewis. He's looked awful in almost all his fights. I saw him against who's this guy? The guy that he beat recently. Oh, Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
Curtis Blades. Yeah, in the first round, he kind of looked awful.
Yeah.
Up until Curtis Blades went for the takedown, and that's when he timed that shot. That was the only shot that's Derek Lewis did, and he won the fight. So that's why I felt as if Cyril Gane was going to dominate him, because he's smarter than that. He's a better striker, so I just felt as if he's going to dominate and show his class, and he did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Derek Lewis, you're going to lose to him if you make one mistake. Basically, you've got one mistake. If you make that one mistake, he's putting you out, and there's no doubt about it. Because everywhere else, I think a lot of the heavyweights can beat him in various other aspects of the game. You get kicked by Derek Lewis, that's it, and we've seen that time and time again. Nonetheless, where does Lewis fit in now? It's a little bit difficult because the division's looking stacked. There's a lot of fights lined up already. Gane, we'd like to see Gane fight Francis next. It's probably looking likely, right?
Yeah, he's gonna fight Gane next. That's a cool fight. I was actually excited that the UFC made this fight, because I wasn't excited for Gane versus Lewis.
Really?
I didn't like that fight, to be honest. I felt as if it was going to be similar to the first one. So I wanted Gane to fight Gane, to be honest. I didn't like Lewis.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a much more exciting fight with Gane taking on Francis Ngannou. No, absolutely. So do you have anyone in mind you'd like to see Derek Lewis fight next?
Oof. Probably in the top of my head, probably like someone like Tom Aspinall.
Okay. Big jump.
A newcomer, yeah, exactly, like someone like that, because who can Derek Lewis fight next? Because he's almost fought everyone in that division.
I think he's going to have to wait for someone to lose.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, in the next couple of fights that are booked. Pretty stuff at the moment. First of all, before we wrap up, let's get your fight of the night. What was your fight of the night?
My fight of the night was Bobby Green versus Rafael Fiziev.
Yes.
That was a crazy fight.
I did catch that fight, and that was a war.
Oh, that was a crazy fight. The third round, Bobby Green put it out on him, on Fiziev. That was awesome.
I thought Bobby Green was going to stand a chance, to be honest.
Yeah, and the second round was close. Yeah, the second round was close. Then he stole the third round. So it was for anyone, basically.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was surprised by the judges saying it was 30-27.
I know. How?
That was crazy.
Yeah, mad fight, man. All right, okay, we're gonna wrap this up. Sel, have you got any last remarks you want to say before we go?
Nothing. Just saying that had a good time watching the fights tonight, and I can't wait to be back again in your show. And I mean, yeah,
Yes. Anytime, brother. Anytime. You know, next up, join us for the watch along. Get your picks in and communicate via the live chat. You know, we have some top fun in there with the guys. They give us plenty to talk about, and they ask some pretty decent questions. So it'd be good to get you in there and listen to what you have to say going into the fight as opposed to you know, after the fight. But nonetheless, you're always welcome for the post fight fan cams. So much appreciated for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
not a problem. Thank you for having me, bro.
All right, no problem, man. Stay safe. Take care.
Bye.